What's up, Bulldog? John Sonmez here from BulldogMindset.com. Today we're going to be continuing our series on OMAD. That's 1 meal a day. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you want to go ahead and click the card here to check out the beginning of the series. And make sure you click the subscribe button and click the bell to get notifications so you can watch all these videos on OMAD, 1 meal a day. It is basically a form of intermittent fasting. It's what I do. I eat 1 meal a day. I've been doing this for over 3 years. And I still run like 50 miles a week. I just finished a marathon at a 3 hour and 46 minute time at 220 pounds doing Muay Thai and all of this, and you can see that I'm not losing any kind of muscle. I'm in pretty damn good shape, eating just 1 meal a day. So how is this possible? What we're going to talk about today is the psychological benefits of OMAD, or 1 meal a day. One of the big reasons why I teach OMAD, okay, and give it to all of my coaching clients, and why I think it's beneficial, besides the physical ones that we already covered, is the psychological benefits, because it's actually something that you can stick with. Now, this seems really weird. A lot of people are like, how the fuck do you eat 1 meal a day? And how can you keep eating 1 meal a day? That doesn't make any sense, John. Let me go back and tell you my own story, right? When I first started out, kind of in the fitness industry at all, I started out doing bodybuilding, okay? When I was like 19 years old, I did some bodybuilding competitions. I was in no way or no form or no shape ready for it. I was not very lean. I had some muscle mass, but I thought I was a shit because I was 19. But, I placed in a natural competition back then. But back then, what I used to do was what all bodybuilders do, which is eat 6 to 7 meals a day. Okay, and I've done this, I've prepped for, tried to lose fat before in the past, or like tried to get on a bodybuilder diet again, at different times in my life. But let me tell you, eating 6 to 7 meals a day, it is your life. You got to cook, okay? Most of those meals, you're cooking those meals, you're prepping, even if you're prepping up for the week, right? You are, on a clock constantly. Is it time to eat? You're eating those meals, right? You're basically living to eat, and when you're prepping for a bodybuilding competition, you're eating 6 to 7 meals a day. All you're doing is cooking and eating and working out and stressing about cooking and eating and working out. That's it. Like, you don't have time to focus, and you're fucking hungry, and you're eating shit food that doesn't taste very good at all, okay? So it's really hard to stick to that. The reason why you stick to that is because you have a competition coming up, and you got to do it, right? But most people who try to do any kind of diet like that, it just takes over your life. It's not a very sustainable thing. Intermittent fasting in general, that is a little bit easier, but when you contrast it to the extremeness of 1 meal a day, it is so simple from a psychological perspective, because all you have to do is worry about 1 meal. That's it. You don't only have to cook 1 meal, okay? You don't have to clean up after 1 meal. You don't have to plan 1 meal. That's it. That is all you have to do. When you have your calories spaced out, right, over 6 or 7 meals, and you're in a calorie deficit, let's say, like for me, my typical calorie burn might be somewhere around 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day. It might even be a little bit more than that when I'm doing like long 10, 15 mile runs. It's probably a lot more than that, and doing kickboxing and lifting and all that. But if I'm restricting down to, let's say, 2,000 calories, okay, 2,000 calories split over 5 meals, let's say, that's not a lot. That's 400 calorie meals, okay? One pumpkin loaf of bread at Starbucks, or 1 muffin, can be 400 calories. That's not very filling, okay? I want to eat something of some quantity when I eat, okay? I'm a big guy. I like to eat. I like food, okay? And I don't want to eat fucking chicken breasts all the time and broccoli, okay? It's fine. I'll eat that stuff, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather eat something more substantial. When I've got 2,000 calories, let's say, or 2,500 calories to eat in 1 meal, my options open up a lot. I want to have a burrito? I could have a burrito. It might not be the healthiest thing, but it doesn't matter, because I'm still going to be in a deficit, and I could eat 2 slices of pizza and I'll be fine. You see what I'm saying? Like, I've got options, okay? And I can eat to be a lot more full, right? Especially if I eat clean food. If I eat 2,500 calories of clean food all in one sitting, man, that's going to be a feast. That's going to be a good meal. I'm going to feel satiated. I'm going to feel good. And what helps get me through the day is knowing that at the end of the day, right, for dinner, I'm going to be able to eat a good, decent meal. I can't wait till it's like 2 o'clock so I can eat my hard-boiled egg and a couple of nuts. That's not very fucking motivating, okay? It's not very motivating to stay on the diet. It's not very motivating to make it to that time. It's just misery the whole time. Whereas when you're eating one meal a day, you can look forward to the meal because it's going to be a good meal, right? You could eat something that, I mean, you can go out to eat even and go to a restaurant, and as long as you don't go crazy, you're probably going to be within calorie or under calories, okay, for the whole day because that's the only food that you're eating that day. I use that strategy a lot. One strategy I would use with OMAD when I first started out was I would eat regular like meals of like chicken and broccoli and something like that, and maybe a little bit of rice or something like that. That's going to be super healthy 2 days. And then the third day, I would eat out at whatever restaurant I want and get pretty much whatever that I wanted, and I would still lose a ton of weight, okay? So from a psychological perspective, this is actually easier because you get rewarded at the end of every single day. You get a reward. Even though it seems like fasting and starving yourself would be harder, it's actually easier to eat just one meal a day because you can go out and you can have a burrito, you can have a piece of cake. Like you shouldn't do that all the time, but again, you have that ability because at the end of the day, the deficit is what's going to matter for weight loss, right? And for staying in shape. So that's the key there. Even if you're trying to gain muscle mass, still eating one meal a day is beneficial from a physical perspective, and it's also, I think, beneficial from a psychological perspective because again, you're not having to cook up 6 or 7 meals and force feed all this stuff down your throat. Instead, you can have one big meal that's higher calories, right? Again, it seems kind of counterintuitive, but I can gain weight eating one meal a day, no problem. Trust me, I have to be careful to not gain weight eating one meal a day. So you can do that too. The other thing that is a psychological benefit here is the fact that you have a rule, okay? The biggest reason why we fail, okay, as human beings, in our diets especially, is because we have to make judgment calls, okay? The more judgment calls that you make, the more that you're going to fail, right? I have a weak willpower, okay? You do as well. If you might say, John, you have a fucking iron willpower. You do all kinds of shit. You fucking run marathons. You fucking, do all this kind of crazy extreme shit, right? No. What I do is I make rules for myself and I can follow those rules. You know that you only eat one meal a day, that you fast until 5 o'clock every day, right? Like what my rule is. Then there's not even a decision. The fact that someone brought in donuts is totally irrelevant. You're not even tempted at all. I mean, you might be tempted a slight bit, but you know that it's your rule. It's like the red stoplight that you're not going to drive past, right? Because you've made this a rule in your life, and that's just what you do. You do not violate that rule. There is no judgment call. If you're doing something else, if you're just trying to eat healthy, that's the worst thing because you're constantly making judgment calls. You're constantly making judgment calls. Should I go to the gym? Should I eat this food? Should I eat that food, right? Should I eat at all, right? And if the more judgment calls you make, the more bad ones you're going to make and the more that you're going to fail. But if you have one simple rule and it's just that you don't eat until dinner time, you can follow that and you can do that better. It may be harder, like technically to do, right? But it's actually easier from a psychological perspective because it is just the same thing as that red stoplight, right? If you had to make a judgment call whether you should stop at a stoplight every time, we'd have a lot of fucking car accidents. You wouldn't be alive right now probably because you would have made a poor judgment call at least 1 or 2 times that would have got you fucking killed, right? It's the same thing with diet. That's again why even if you didn't do OMAD, if you didn't do one meal a day, you should still have rules of exactly what you're going to eat and exactly when you're going to eat, right? So that you know what it is, so you've got rules, and that's going to help you. And the final thing I'll tell you about the psychological benefits of this, you have more time in the day, and you feel more focused in general, right? As you have that hunger, okay, and eventually it fades to some degree. Like if you do this for 2 weeks, pretty soon your body will regulate the insulin production in your blood glucose levels so that you won't feel and the ghrelin and leptin levels so that you won't feel hungry all the time when you're fasting, right? But you're gonna have a lot more time in your day, right? I don't have to break for lunch. I don't have to break for breakfast. I can just work and then I can eat. Okay, so I can get a lot more done, so I'm super productive, which helps me from a psychological perspective, and I'm more focused, right? When you've got that little bit of edge of hunger, you're more focused, right? Sometimes have you ever noticed that, like, when you eat a big meal or you eat, you're kind of satiated, so you don't have that hunger anymore, so you don't have that edge, so you feel like taking a nap or you feel like being lazy? A lot of times you go out for lunch, you come back, and the rest of your day is not productive at all. Not for me. I wake up in the morning, I get some coffee, I don't eat any food, I just go until it's time to hit the gym. I go and I lift, or I go and I run, and then I'm ready for dinner and I feel great. And there's like this psychological reward for waiting so long, and then you feel so good, and so every day you've got something to look forward to, right? Whereas when you're on one of those stupid fucking diets where you're eating 6-7 meals a day and eating just broccoli and chicken breasts, you never have anything to look forward to. There's nothing except for maybe that little bit, the one time in the morning when you get the oatmeal and you can put a scoop of peanut butter in it and a couple of raisins, and you're like, oh, this is so awesome, and then it's gone in like 5 minutes. So when you do 1 meal a day, you've got the benefit every single day. You always have, at least, even if it's not the most like tasty meal, you have a decent quantity of food to look forward to. You're gonna actually be full, you're actually gonna be satiated, and that's why it's sustainable. That's why I've been able to do it for 3.5 years, almost 4 years now, continuously, with very few times that I've ever broken the 1 meal a day, just specifically for races or a few other times. But pretty much every day my protocol is this, and I can stick to this. Again, compliance is really important. If you start on a diet program and you can't comply to, all diet programs will work, but if you can't comply, then you're gonna fail. And it seems counterintuitive. You think that 1 meal a day, fasting until dinner or 5 o'clock every single day would be difficult to comply, but it's actually one of the easiest things to comply with because of the reasons I said. Like I said, the biggest thing is that, one, it's simple, it's easy. You don't have to think about it. It's real simple. It allows you to eat a wider variety of foods. You get a reward every single day, and you have solid rules that you follow. You don't have to make judgment calls. It eliminates all those judgment calls. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today in this video. I think in the next one, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about how to get started with OMAD. So I'm going to tell you how you can actually get started, the best way to do that. So make sure you click the subscribe button and click the bell to get the notification, so when you see next week or so when the next video comes out and how you can get started with this, I'm going to teach you how to do that. And also make sure you go and check out the playlist and start from video 1. Share this with someone if they're a fat ass and they need to OMAD it. Or, if someone is basically saying that you're crazy, why are you doing this, right? That's going to happen when you start OMAD. Share them the playlist, let them watch for themselves and understand how this works and see for themselves the proof that you're not going to waste away. I mean, I get so many people that are like, damn, John, if you run 40 or 50 miles a week and you only eat once a day, you're going to waste away. Well, it hasn't happened yet. And, I don't think it's going to happen. It's been like 3 years, almost 4 years, and I've been living this lifestyle, and I've never been in better shape. So that's all I got for you guys today. If you haven't already, like I said, click that subscribe button, and I will talk to you next time. Take care.